Hey, oozes and bunnies. This is a preview of the most recent Party Planning, an extra podcast that the Join the Party crew makes for our Patreon. If you want to listen to the whole thing, go to patreon.com/jointhepartypod. Check out this preview.
Ooh, that was harder to get open.
Ooh, that was a tough one, Julia. That gave you some resistance.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my fingernails are a little weak, but I need to They're already chipped. I painted them 2 days ago. They're already chipped.
Tis the way. Julia, it's Party Planning. Welcome to Party Planning, where we have cracked open 2 cold ones, and we are here to, I'll say, do a fantasy fugue of an episode. So let's peel back the curtain. Julia, tell the people how party planning usually works. How do we plan party planning?
Typically, we all sit down like maybe once every 2 months or so, and we say, hey, what are the party plannings that we want to do this month? And we jot down ideas, we put them in spaces, we schedule them out a little bit later, or we schedule out the first couple, and then we're like, we'll get back to the rest of these. And so we sat down to do this couple of months plannings. And I looked at the schedule and I was like, Amanda, there's one on here from last time that just says a little mundane magic or something like that.
Little mundane magic, yes.
And I was like, do you remember what that is? And Amanda goes, no, not even a little bit.
Don't remember a thing. I confidently jotted it down and assigned it to myself to run the party planning. And I sure did forget. It's not even like I forgot it. And sometimes you're like, oh, right, that's right. I should have remembered that. Or I remember knowing that. This, nothing, Julia. It's blank. It's like it was a dream. But
we truly sat there. And these meetings are like 30 to 45 minutes usually.
Yeah.
And that was at the beginning. And I was like, all right, well, like, take the meeting, think about it. Maybe you'll remember what it is by the end of it. I get back to the end of the meeting. I'm like, Amanda, do you remember what that is? No.
Not a thing.
Not even a little bit.
But I have sort of mementoed myself, wherein I reverse engineered an episode from the title that past me thought was a good idea.
Amazing.
So, Julia, we're here today to talk about Little Modern Magic, which I would like to sort of expand to encompass mundane superpowers.
Okay.
And so this is a thing that, you might talk about with your friends from time to time. Like, what mundane superpower could you have? Do you have a go-to answer for that? Mine is always turning off the lights, which now I do have some smart light bulbs that I can turn off with my phone, but that's usually what I'm going for.
I think mine would be, I'm stuck between 2.
Yes.
One would be knowing at any moment the precise meal that would satisfy me the most. Because sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm like, I just want to, like, I wish I knew what I was hungry for right now. Because then I could just make the decision to either make it or order it or whatever, and then I'll be good, right?
Yeah.
And then I never remember what it is or can figure out what it is. So this would be a great superpower. My other superpower, especially as I've gotten more into like nature and mushrooms and plants and stuff like that, is being able to look at a plant, identify it immediately, and also know like the properties or like whether or not it's edible or how I could use it. That kind of thing.
That's like the Black Forager Instagram account,
yes.
TikTok account. But
I wish I had her skills.
She's amazing.
Did you see that she's doing a SciShow series now?
I did, on botany. God, I'm
really excited. I haven't watched that show in forever. I'm gonna watch hers.
Yeah, I'm saving it for a rainy day. Well, that sounds amazing. And I thought, Julia, instead of going like the sort of singular mile, just doing the one and talking about the mundane superpowers we wished we had, I want us to come up with super villains for each of these mundane superheroes.
Oh, dang. Okay. All right.
So I have pulled up a few different listicles of mundane superpowers that the internet has come up with. Looks like the real sort of heyday was 2014 to 15. I don't know what was happening in culture then.
Like Avengers had come
Yeah.
out already. I feel like we were really in the hype and height of the superhero age around 2014, 2015. So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That's good. And I've opened up maybe like 5 or 6 listicles, and of them, there are a handful of good ones that I like very much. So I thought that I would read to you the mundane superpower, and then we can come up together with a super villain, and maybe even like a final showdown where finally the superpower comes in handy, and you're able to, legitimately save the day.
Amazing. Let's do it.
All right. So the first one is from the studentroom.co.uk, which looks to be a forum for high school and early college students in the UK. Here are some of the examples, Julia. Tell me which ones stick out to you. So the first one is, I can throw my fidget spinner from one hand to the other behind my back.
No. Doesn't do it for me.
This one is the ability to pay my rent without actually paying any money. That's good, but
I mean, like more of a magical ability, like to just kind of, I don't know, anti-capitalism.
Money,
anti-capitalism should be a superpower is my hot take. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
One person says inserting the USB correctly the first time. Now that's pretty good. And this was before USB-C was invented and required all of us to buy a lot of new dongles. But that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah. And then finally, somebody else, there was a whole kind of like genital measuring contest over photographic memory. And finally, the original poster had a couple of suggestions, and the one that I liked best was getting cats to follow you around, which is pretty cute.
That's just keep cat mint in your pockets.
Right?
There you go. Yeah.
That one really stood out to me. No offense to the commenters in 16, in the studentroom.co.uk. But I do like the idea of some kind of supervillain that could be defeated by like a horde of cats all sort of like setting on a villain in an inopportune moment.
Now, Amanda, I know that you are not a huge superhero movie person.
Right.
However, that was the power that defeated a giant kaiju-shaped starfish in the most recent Suicide Squad movie. Except instead of cats, it was rats.
I mean, that's also real. I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, is it a giant can of tuna supervillain? Sounds delicious. Like what is it? A villain that is made of bouncy balls and you can like explode them out and then the cats all run after them.
I really like the idea of, okay, first off, let's like focus in on the superpower before we get to supervillain. Is it just someone who has like laser pointers on their fingertips?
That's very good. I was thinking like a cat lady stereotype, but exploded and reclaimed into superpower. But I sure do like the lasers.
I think it could be both. I think like the costume can be like stereotypical cat lady.
Yes.
And then she has a la Batman, a bunch of very like cool technical things, like gadgets that allow her to control the cats more efficiently.
Oh, that's really good. Okay. And then so maybe I'm thinking here about the end of like the Batman. That was what the Robert Pattinson one was called, right? Yeah. Nailed it. Maybe there's like some kind of climactic moment where the superhero, our cat laser goddess is is like
that's her name, Cat Laser Goddess.
Thank you very much. Where she is imperiled and she is like being lowered into a vat of something, I don't know, just like a comic book. And then there is like someone sneaks in a little like hand mirror, and she's able to like use a laser, hit a hand mirror, and then like somebody crashes a disco ball through the ceiling. Lights everywhere. The cats go wild. They explode out of wherever they have been hidden and somehow like shred her nets or whatever. I don't know, to like get her out of the bad situation.
Okay, here's my suggestion for the supervillain then.
Yes.
The Fisherman.
The Fisherman. This is good. Does he use like artificially pumped up fish smell to like lure the cats away, perhaps?
I think that's good. You said net, and so I assumed like fisherman, like that was his thing. He would catch you up in nets and stuff like that. Not very good. could be bad. That's why the cats have to come in and claw it down. I also really like the idea that in very kind of superhero tradition, he is both like in a very classic old fisherman's costume, but is also a fish man.
Yes. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, like
he's just
the
a big yellowfin tuna.
Yep, this is very good.
It's like exactly like with the Morton's fisherman style outfit with the suspenders and the hat and the galoshes. Like that would be incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
Amanda, that's great. That's awesome. Let's think of some other gadgets for the laser cat goddess.
Okay, well, there has to be some kind of automatic litter cleaner, right?
Yes.
Or maybe like super efficient litter that just like wicks away any waste.
Yes. Oh, yes. Like you could use it for oil spills. You could use it for getting your car out of ditches.
Yep. Vomit, like our elementary school janitors did.
I really like the idea of maybe like what's the thing, caltrops, you know, like the little balls that you could use in D&D that make people like trip up or whatnot.
Yes,
it's like that, except you're sliding just cat litter so that they slip and fall.
That's very good. What else do cats like? Maybe you can maybe there's something on her where, you know, those toys that like dangle from a string and it's like a little, you know, fish or like feather or something.
Yes.
Maybe there is a really big version of that, and there is like some sort of Spider-Man web or like, you know, fishing line that is like super, super long that can get her out of some scrapes and, you know, like snag, almost like a grappling hook, like snag on to like let her swing out of the way.
I love that. That's so freaking good. I also really like the idea that she, much like we talked about in a spirits episode that it won't be out by now, but next week, a chariot pulled by cats. That's how she gets across town.
Beautiful. I love it.
Majestic.
And is there any kind of like witticism or catchphrase that Cat Laser Lady says as she takes down a foe?
Meow, bitch was the first one that came to mind.
No notes, Julia.
But I also think that if you want to get a little sadder and more cliche, I might not have kids, but at least I have my cats.
That's pretty good. That might you know, lure people into feeling bad for her, but she's like, surprise, bitch, this is my choice.
Yes, exactly.
I like it. Just as long as the word bitch is in there, that's what I want.
Bitch. Okay,
Julia, we have a classic BuzzFeed quiz listicle. Sorry, not quiz, listicle from 2014. Again, this is the heyday here, where the of course tagline headline is 10 mundane superpowers every 20-something wishes they had.
Okay.
That was great. My favorite part was the accent work. If you like that, you got to hear the rest of Party Planning by joining the Patreon at patreon.com/jointhepartypod.